What is up, YouTube? My name is Blanco Bean, and today I will be going over Baddies West Season 3. So make sure that you are in a comfortable position, make sure you have a snack, or you're focused on something, or you're laying down, just, listening to me and hearing my thoughts and opinions about this first episode. If you're in your car and you're listening to me, make sure you're buckled up, still focusing on the road, because I want y'all to be safe and comfortable. So just real quick, I did want to make a quick announcement. This is my first YouTube video. I have never done YouTube before, but I've always wanted to do something like this. I didn't know if I wanted to do something like a podcast or, Patreon or something in that sorts. But, I think it's good to start off with YouTube for the most part and see how this goes. I've always been a fan of reality TV, from Flavor of Love to Love and Hip Hop to The Real World to The Challenge to Bad Girls Club and so forth. I've taken the breaks when it comes to reality TV. I know in my younger years I was obsessed with reality TV, but as you grow older, you tend to be over it. You tend to be like, oh gosh, again, the same storylines, the same old things going on, cheating, drama, blah, 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 blah. But guess what? It still lures me in, watching it on, social media platforms. So it always catches my attention somehow. So you know what? I'm like, I'm going to share my opinion somehow, so I'm going to do it by creating these YouTube videos because I also want to create a community to be able to talk about this. I usually don't have friends who like talking about reality TV or even watch reality TV. I usually am just like reading the discussion boards or like reading the comments in Instagram or reading the comments on TikToks and stuff like that. But it's never like, people that I can actually talk with this. So I'm hoping that with y'all can participate with me in this, being able to comment in the comments below. I'll make sure to, comment or reply back to a lot of y'all's comments. So I hope we can build something from this together. And so I can't wait. So let's get into it. Let's get into Baddies Season 3, Episode 1. So just giving a little overview of how the episode started. So basically, the episode started with a preview, or like not a preview, but like a recap of season 2 from Baddies South. I will say that I didn't see the point of having this recap only because, one, I don't feel like there is a storyline that is, following through to season 3. It just basically showed us the trailer again for season 2. So I was like, what was the point of this? Like I felt like it would have been better if they did like a recap of like, of like the what's it called? Gosh darn, the auditions. So I felt like that would have been much better if they had like the auditions recap on there so that we could have seen some of the girls who have auditioned on there, who are on the Baddie show, like Stunna, Biggie, and Razor. So that would have been nice to just have that as well. But again, I'm not a producer, I'm not an editor, so that's their job. So it is what it is. Also, I forgot to mention that I am not someone who is here to fact check or anything like that. Like I know there's a lot of drama happening on the social media platforms, especially throughout the filming time and then even after. So I'm not going to base my opinions off of that. I'm going to be basing my opinions off what it is shown on TV. I'm not going to be, Googling or like going on Instagram seeing, what did Krishan do this time? Or, Krishan explained this, or Natalie explained this, or Biggie explained this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to do all of that. Y'all are more than welcome to, clarify things to me in the comments or, update me on things. But that's just something that I'm not going to be doing. I'm just going to be basing my opinions on the show. What did they show? What editing did they show to us? And also, this is just my opinion. I have my own values and morals and my own experience. So certain things might be completely different from what your experience and opinions are. Again, this is what, is the beauty of diversity, is that we all have our opinions. At the end of the day, as long as we're not causing harm, I think that's what's important. So what I'm sharing is just what I think, and if you feel like there's something that I didn't say correctly or you felt like some sort of way, please feel free to say it in the comments. I'm also someone who likes reading other people's opinions and, I love learning. So feel free to share your thoughts, because maybe you'll be able to change my mind. But at the end of the day, it's my opinion, you know. I don't want people to get upset by it or anything like that. But yeah, so let's get on to it. So it starts off with Natalie basically welcoming her mom and her aunt into the house. You know, this is going to be basically a little celebration for having 52 million stream views. Please let me know in the comments if 52 million stream views is a big deal. Like, is that a lot? I actually don't know if that's a lot of views. I don't know what stream counts. If someone can give me an example of what that means, you know, compare it to something, that would be great. It seems like a big deal because Natalie is celebrating with her mom and aunt and her husband. So I guess. So congrats to Baddies South for bringing those views up. So that's awesome. So then they go over basically all the cast members. And I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about the cast members before the show and then during the show. But during the show, I'll share that towards the end. But in the beginning, they mentioned Rolly. And so something that I did a big eye roll was when Rolly literally said, getting to the bag. And again, that was something that I always heard on season 2. And I'm pretty sure y'all had heard it as well. And it was just something that was so irritating because it was like, what bag? Like, we're not seeing y'all make anything. I'm not understanding what this means. Where is this coming from? You know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just funny. But when it comes to Rolly, like, I like Rolly. I think she's funny. I think she's entertaining. I think that she is someone who cares a lot as well. I do think that when it comes to Rolly, there are certain things that irk me when she makes certain comments. But of course, you know, that's who she is. She stands up for what she believes. She stands up for what she thinks. And so I think, you know, I respect Rolly for being able to stand her ground on that. Then comes Krishan. Krishan, to me, I've seen Krishan since, you know, when Blueface had his Bad Girls Club on OnlyFans, his first season. I was able to see Krishan on that season. I have a dislike for Krishan. I think Krishan is a very sweet girl. But at the same time, I think that she has a lot of skeletons in her closet. She has a lot of things going on in her own personal life that I feel like a lot of like social media, reality TV takes advantage of. I also do believe that Blueface takes advantage of her as well, but that's for another video or another segment or something to talk about Krishan, because I feel like I can talk about Krishan a lot on another video. But I have a dislike for Krishan. And then comes Scotty Too Hottie with the body. I think Scotty is different in the sense that she tends to be more of, like, in my opinion, like more of a party girl. She's not much of like a fighter, which I like because I feel like a lot of these girls on Baddies, and also a lot of these new reality shows that are coming up, they're really focused on the whole, like, you know, fighting girl, kind of like who's the toughest bunch of them all kind of mentality. And so it's good that they're having this kind of like diverse group of women where like not every woman is a fucking fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that Scotty's on it as well. She might not be the most entertaining, but I do think she seems like a very nice and kind person. So best of luck to her on the season. Miss Cat, I love Cat. Ever since season 5, she was my favorite from season 5 of Bad Girls Club. So I'm so happy she's on here. I can't wait to see what she brings to the table because she has not been on reality TV for quite some time. So I'm really excited to see her again. Then comes Lo London, aka Lauren. I'm excited to see her as well. I was not a big fan of her on season 12, or, you know, her best friend, you know, Blue. During the time they were the couple during that not lovers, but like friends during that time, but on that season. But when it comes to Lauren, I do think I'm going to be excited to see her still. You know, anytime that I see like a bad girl, you know, on a different reality show, it doesn't matter what reality show it is, I get excited. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know. It feels like this kind of club scene, you know, like you're in a special club, and when you see one of those girls who was a part of that club, you know, they're branching into something different, you get excited for them. Like, that's how I feel. Like, I feel like, you know, I've witnessed a lot of these girls on Bad Girls Club, and so it's like seeing them in other platforms. I'm like, I'm so excited to see them, even if I dislike them. Like, I'm still excited to see them. You know, see how their growth, see them how they are now, because again, Bad Girls Club was a long time ago. And also, what was interesting was I was I was wondering if when they were showing Lauren, if they were playing a song that she sang during her intro. So I was like, "Is that Lauren? It sounds like her." So I'm gonna check out her music, because I think she mentioned that she put out some songs out there. Then they showed Stunna Girl. I didn't really have an opinion on Stunna Girl. I saw her on the auditions, and she stood out. I think she's a very pretty girl. I know she got into it with Tommy, so I still think like a lot of it was very, I don't know, it was weird to me. Like, I felt like Tommy and Stunna had like already beef before. If y'all can let me know if you know anything about that, please let me know if there was some beef before the auditions between them, because it was just so off-putting, you know? Like, it was like, why are they already having this much animosity? Like, I understood what Tommy was saying when Stunna wasn't like, answering the question, a question like the way that Tommy was asking for, but at the same time I felt like it was so, I don't know, it was just nothing into something, in my opinion. But let's see how she is this season. I know she brings a lot to the table this season, so let's see how it goes for her. Then comes Razor. Razor, I didn't have as well much of an opinion on her during the auditions. Razor gave me boss mentality, so that was the cool thing about her. I liked when she mentioned about like, who does anyone want to step up, and no one stood up. I was like, really, y'all? Like, y'all didn't step up. That was your chance to be able to do something. But y'all basically gave Stunna the ticket. So congrats, Stunna, to making it to Baddies. So I can't wait to see her on there as well. She's a very pretty girl. So can't wait. And then they mentioned Biggie. I was actually very excited to see Biggie on this season. I felt like she was funny during her audition. So I was a fan of her during the beginning. So I can't wait to see how she's going to turn out this season. I do have a different opinion from this first episode about Biggie, but before episode 1, I liked Biggie for sure. Then comes Tommy, which when it comes to Tommy again, just like Krishan, I have a like-dislike relationship when it comes to Tommy. I've seen Tommy since Love and Hip Hop, when it was her introduction. And then, I've seen her beef with Jocelyn. I've seen her beef with Spice and other people and so forth. I'm a bit, I don't know, like, I like Tommy, where I feel like she has a lot of potential. But again, it's just showing me, like, again, she's like reverting back into like her Love and Hip Hop seasons. I don't know. It's just, I feel like I see a lot of reflection of Tommy with Krishan, for example. Like, I don't know, when I see them both together, I'm like, uh-oh, But I don't know, Tommy just is someone who needs help, I feel like. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think she's just someone who needs a lot of love, and I hope she is able to get it, because I feel like she's really a hurt person, She's a hurt person. But I do have a like-dislike for her, for sure. Then after that, after they went through the women, they started showing, the introduction, which I thought the introduction was cute. The music went well. I think the editing went well. The women looked good in their intros. So I really enjoyed that. So it finally starts, with the women at the photo shoot. They mentioned about, Krishan is late to the photo shoot. They don't know where she is at, but then she finally arrived. Krishan mentions about, like, there's a strange vibe. People are staring at me. She's getting like kind of like hate vibes, like she said. And so then it cuts off to basically the tension between Stunna and Tommy from the audition. And all of a sudden we see Stunna runs up to Tommy. And at that moment, I was like, damn, Tommy. Like, Tommy was literally dragged on the ground. I was just like, Tommy got snuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got snuck. I will for sure say that Tommy got snuck. I know there's like a big debate in the comment sections on like Instagram and TikTok saying like, did Tommy get snuck? And I personally think she did. Do I think it was wrong for Stunna to do that? I personally will say I don't think so, only because like first and foremost, when it comes to fighting, like I think everyone has their own individual rules. I don't think there is a right or a wrong when it comes to like fighting. Fighting is fighting. It's wrong regardless. Anything about violence is wrong. So if someone is going to sneak up on you, if someone's going to jump you, like it's, of course there's certain things that I'm going to be pissed off about. So like for instance, when she got snuck, I didn't feel any emotions about it, only because it's like, I don't know, you could make the argument of like Tommy should have been prepared for this. You know, if she knew she had animosity with Stunna, she should have been like telling the security, hey, let me know when Stunna's approaching me or she's almost coming to my room or something like that so I can prepare. So you could make that argument. Stunna could, you could make the argument as well that Stunna could have approached Tommy and been like, hey, bitch, let's fight. You know what I'm saying? But no, there was nothing like that. But I don't know. I just think that I'm not upset that Stunna like snuck Tommy, but I will say that anytime you cause harm or anytime that or basically your actions, there's always going to be repercussions because of your actions. So what Stunna did, obviously there's going to be something going to happen to her. There's going to be a consequence, a punishment, an action that's going to happen. So for her to sneak Tommy's going to be livid because of that. You know, she was livid throughout that. She was like yelling and getting in the face of security. She was throwing her panties on security and stuff. So she's livid about this. So of course, there's going to be something big happening. I'm pretty sure maybe on episode 2 with Tommy and Stunna. So Stunna, the only advice that I will say is get prepared. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared for Tommy, because what you did, girl, like obviously a lot of people will not be happy about that. They're not going to be happy about being snuck up. But I'm not mad. You know what I'm saying? You got yours. You got your revenge from the auditions. But again, it's a tick for tat. And Tommy's going to get that ass again. So get ready. Now we go over to the morning. Oh, actually, before I say that, did y'all see when it was Tommy versus Stunna, the security fell? Like, oh my gosh, y'all, like, how many times does security have to fall? Like, do they not see water on the floor or anything? Like, I think the first thing that they should do in training is if there's water thrown or any type of liquid thrown at someone else, be cautious. You know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty sure like their adrenaline was pumping when they saw this. And so they're like, oh my God, I need to stop this right now. But it's just hilarious to see like when they freaking fall. But the next day, well, I don't know if it was the next day or it was actually right after the photo shoot. But basically the women were outside waiting for the bus or waiting to go to their house. And they had to wait because not Tommy, Krishan wasn't there. And basically they had to wait for Krishan to get ready to be there. And I felt like Lauren, aka Low London, was not happy about this. You know, she mentioned about like we all had to get ready. We all are, you know, behind on schedule, yada yada yada, which I agree. I agree with Lauren about this. Why? Because if someone is affecting my time, my schedule, and we're behind on certain things like photo shoots, events, activities, or anything of that sort, I'm going to be irked about that. And maybe some of y'all might be saying, well, Blanco, she shouldn't care because she could just, you know, go or do something. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure they have to follow production's instructions. They can't just jump into a cab and just go. You know what I'm saying? They have to stick together. And so if there's someone who is still getting ready or still not, or still is like in their hotel room, you know, arguing with people or getting into arguments, they have to wait, you know, and that can be very irritating. I'm pretty sure when it came to the photo shoot, like Natalie said, she had to wait until she was able to get her pictures taken because of the whole Tommy versus Stunna thing. So of course it can be very irritating. So I don't blame Lauren if she's mad about that. You know, I would be irritated about that too. That's just something I feel like a lot of people might feel, you know? But we finally get onto the bus, and the first thing that I noticed was that everyone, taking shots and everything like that. But at the front, you see Stunner Girl just pouting. Like she's just pouting at the front of the bus. And I'm just like, Stunner, are you serious? Like I can understand that, she might be upset because she was just in a fight, but at the same time, like, girl, you snuck her. So why are you so gloomy and down and pouting your face and stuff like that? So did something happen behind the scenes that we don't know? I don't know. Like in her commentary, she was literally saying, "Oh, girls tend to not like me when we first meet, yada yada yada." And I was just like, I wonder why. You're just pouting there at the front of the bus, like acting like a little girl. Like, what? But anyways, everyone is drinking and whatnot, getting to know each other. And all of a sudden, Kat is like talking about like Vegas and how like, she plans parties over there and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, like Biggie is like, wait, are you like a promoter or something? And Kat's like, no, I'm not a promoter. I just throw parties sometimes. I've been doing it for like 10 years there. And, Biggie for some reason felt some type of way about, Kat doing this and not, I guess, declaring herself as a promoter or an event planner. I didn't understand what was Biggie's, argument about this. Like why, like it just seemed like turning into nothing into something again. Like it's just like, for what, Biggie? Like Biggie was giving me a lot during her argument with Kat. Like she was giving me Anne and Sydney Star vibes. Like, why are you making this a big deal? Like Kat literally just said, I throw parties and I want to make money with y'all. Like, I don't understand what's the situation. Like, why are you so angry about this? Or why are you pressed? I don't want to say she's angry, but she was pressed about it. Like, why are you pressed? So that made no sense to me. So that was a red flag for me when it came to Biggie. And then there was, after that happened, all of a sudden Stunna and Biggie got into it because Biggie mentioned about, there's a time and place for everything, and she didn't like that Stunna snuck Tommy, which again, like I said, Stunna, prepare for the repercussions. There's going to be people who don't like the idea of people sneaking other people. So I don't blame Biggie for, voicing her opinion on that. It was just to the point where, like, Stunna and Biggie were going at it with each other, and then Stunna throws a bottle at Biggie. I was like, what? And y'all, throwing a bottle or like getting hit in the head with a bottle, it's no fun. It's happened to me once, maybe a story time later in the future, but it's no fun. So the fact that she actually threw that, like, I'm sorry, if I was security, I would have been like, she needs to go to a different car. That was not okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that, you're in a reality TV show and you're in drama, but I always think that safety always comes first. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we putting these women in harm's way? Like, I understand it's reality TV and we want drama, but it's like, God damn, to the point where you're throwing bottles at people. That's not okay. That's unacceptable. You're putting someone's health at risk. That can literally cause brain damage. Like, why are we accepting this? Like, no, that's not okay. But then after that, Stunna and Rolly got into it. Because Stunna mentioned about, something about like, I'm going to put y'all on the ground, underground or something like that, and Rolly felt some type of way from her saying that. And so then Rolly and Stunna started getting into it, and Stunna threw a drink at Rolly, and then that's when it's cut off to the next episode. And so basically when it came to like the whole Rolly and Stunna situation, I personally felt like, of course, Rolly's going to share her opinions of this situation. I was more related to, for me, I'm more relating to, what was her name? Razor. Like I was more relating to her only because Razor just like gave me like, you know what, I'm going to mind my business. I'm going to drink. I'm going to take shots and just, do what I have to do, And so I don't know, like just the fact that like, I don't know, of course Rolly's going to share her opinion, but for me, it's like, if it's not really targeted towards me, why am I going to put energy into something that's not really targeted towards me? Like, Stunna was just pissed off at the fact that her and Biggie just got into it, and so she's just saying shit, and so why are you egging it on by making your own comment? You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally put yourself in that situation. So, but that's typical Rolly, I feel like, putting herself in certain situations that I'm just like, Rolly, just stop, okay? It's not really targeted towards you. Yes, she said it in a general sense, but honestly, it is what it is. Like, why make it into something bigger? But hey, it is what it is, right? So at the very end, when it comes to each of them, I would say Rolly, Rolly wasn't much in there. You know, I do think she has a little bit of a bias of liking Biggie. Only because I saw a little bit on the bus where, like, you know, Kat was like defending herself against Biggie, and like Rolly was like, oh, is, you know, is being a promoter really that big of a deal, Kat? And then Kat's like, no, it's not about that. But it's like, again, like, it's going back to like the whole like Rolly liking Biggie. So I feel like she's just trying to defend Biggie, and, you know, is being, you know, defense, or trying to be her friend or something. But that's what I'm getting. But Rolly, there's not much that she did on this episode. Krishan, she was barely on there, so no thoughts of Krishan. Scotty, she was just in the background, didn't do much. Kat, still love her. I'm glad she's still on this season, so I can't wait what she brings there. She already got to her first argument, and she held herself, so yeah. And then Lo London. Lo is giving me a little bit of instigation vibes, only because in the bus she was talking to Stunna about the whole audition situation. So I was like, is Lo going to be a little bit of the instigator this season? We'll see. But I like Lo for the most part. Stunna girl. Stunna, I'm going to say right now, dislike when it comes to Stunna. Because honestly, a lot of the things that are happening right now on that first episode, that was her repercussions for what she did. You know, that was her repercussions. And then when it comes to Razor, I like Razor. I feel like she is going to be my number 2 so far. I think Kat's my number 1 and Razor's going to be my number 2. And then Biggie, I think she's in the bottom for me for now. I'm not liking Biggie right now. She's giving me a little bit of hater vibes, just like how Kat mentioned in her. Like, it's just, I don't know, like, why are you looking for drama for nothing? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just wanting to talk. Like, even in the bus, when they said, oh, what do we think about Tommy in the situation, what just happened? You know, you can see in the back that that Biggie was like, I need to share my opinion, like wanting to speak, and it's just like Biggie, it's okay, like you'll get your time on the camera. Tommy didn't show too much. I mean, obviously she got into it with Stunna and got into it with security and things like that, but I didn't get to see a little bit more of Tommy other than just, you know, drama. So I hope to see a different side of Tommy in these couple of episodes. Also, I forgot to mention that there's another cast member who is DJ Sky High Baby, and it's interesting that they added her as well as part as like the cast. It seemed so random, even though she had no lines or anything like that. I know she's Chris Sean's best friend, so I'll see how she turns out into this season, but I didn't see her much on here. I will say she kind of reminded me of Duffy. Like, she low-key looks like her. Like, I literally was just like, she looks like if this was Duffy's daughter, like, I'll believe it. But yeah, I want to hear y'all's thoughts about this first episode. What did y'all think? Did y'all like it? Did y'all dislike it? I know for me, my overall opinion is I actually liked this first episode. This first episode was very entertaining compared to the other 2 seasons, where like I was not too much of a fan of the other 2 seasons, but this one actually got me really intrigued. So I hope it keeps up this type of level of entertainment. So, but I want to hear y'all thoughts. What did y'all think? Did y'all agree with my opinions? Did y'all disagree with my opinions? Please share your comments down below, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.